With the upcoming season of the Wish, pulse rifles are getting a flat 15% buff, and in my opinion, it's a well needed one, as pulse rifles have been lacking in terms of personal usability for a while now. So let's go over some top picks to grind out for Season 23 whilst we can. There's currently 60 pulse rifles in the game, so unlike my other videos, I'll be handpicking some that I think are top choices to grind for, rather than going through all 60 options. If there are any good options that I failed to note in this video, please mention it yourself in the comments for other players to see. Starting off, for our Kinetic, the best in slot is either the Chattering Bone or the Messenger. So first off, I've actually chosen two options for the best Kinetic option. There's a very similar PvE god roll for both options here, Rapid Hit and Kinetic Tremors, but each have their own positives and negatives. Chattering Bone has Kill Clip in the left column to roll with Rampage for double damage perks. It also has Focus Fury in the right column to work with Rapid Hit instead of Kinetic Tremors, whereas the Messenger has Kill Clip in the right column, but has Outlaw and Perpetual Motion in the left column, so it actually has more choices when it comes to reloads. But for me, the real difference comes to the frames. The Messenger is a high impact and is only available from Trials, whereas Chattering Bone is a lightweight and only available from the Last Wish and has the benefit of being craftable. For most players, Chattering Bone is the clear winner, but in my opinion, high impacts are the better archetype, so between these two it comes down to personal choice. Honourable mention, the Smite of Moraine. Another raid pulse, but Smite is from King's Fall and is an adaptive frame. Had I made this video a few months ago, this would have been the number one pick, but as time goes on, power creeps, and Smite just isn't as viable for endgame as it used to be, since Kinetic Tremors is such a useful option for general damage and champions. It's hard to justify any perk besides it. That being said, Smite can roll Vorpal in the right column with Focus Fury in the left column, meaning it's still got a great endgame roll. Even for more casual activities, Smite can roll Demo, Pugilist or Stats for All in the left column, with Swash, Adrenaline, Firefly or One for All in the right column. Plus it's hard to forget that this thing is craftable. So, if you're lucky enough, you can handpick the role you want. Another honourable mention for Kinetics, the Peace of Mind. This rapid fire pulse from Season of the Resident is still a great choice after all this time. As the first craftable pulse, ignoring Insidious from the raid, Peace of Mind had to stand out as worthwhile, since barely any other craftable primaries from Witch Queen really were. Luckily for us, Peace of Mind has a fantastic role of Overflow, Stats for All, or Perpetual Motion with Focus Fury or Adrenaline Junkie. I wouldn't recommend a rapid fire pulse in endgame content like GMs, but autoloading or Overflow with Focus Fury or Vorpal aren't bad choices either. Best in slot for Stasis is Disparity. Disparity is a great pulse rifle, Stasis or not. Rapid Hit, Outlaw or Pugilist in the left column, with Frenzy, Headstone, One for All, Swash or Kill Clip all in the right column. There's plenty to pick from on this pulse. For endgame, Rapid Hit and Frenzy is the best you could chase here, but in casual content this pulse is real fun. I've been using it on my Stasis Titan for quick and easy charge sly melee, and on my Stasis Warlock for Winter's Guile. It's a really easy recommendation here. Honourable, New Purpose. The first dungeon weapon on this list, New Purpose hails from Duality as the least interesting option from the four similar weapons from the dungeon. But that's not to say this is bad. In fact, it goes to show how interesting the other options are to overshadow this. Feeding Frenzy or Perpetual with Headstone, Focus Fury, Vorpal or even Desperado are really fun options on this high impact. And since it is a high impact, it means you can take this into higher end content like GMs. A fairly solid option here. Honourable, Syncopation. Another pretty solid option here. The benefit of this pulse comes from its ease to acquire and the fact it's craftable, because without it, it would be a fairly boring option. Outlaw with Frenzy, Headstone or Focus Fury. Unfortunately there's not any ease reload perks like Rapid Hit on this pulse rifle, which means it's harder to take into endgame content, so it's going to stay as a casual only pulse. Best in slot, Solar, the BXR Battler. Well, who could have seen this coming? Arguably the best pulse in the entire game, the only thing BXR is missing is a damage perk for endgame, like Focus Fury. But even then, Demo or Pugilist in the left column with Incandescent in the right column makes a great primary for any Solar build, from Caliban's to Yahamkara, from Paragale to Lorelei, from Sunbraces to Verity's Brow. A really great primary for every class running Solar. Best in slot, Arc, Insidious. This might genuinely be my favourite pulse in the entire game. Since I've crafted it, I've not taken off my Arc Warlock. With Demo, Dragonfly, Rapid Hit and Stats for All in the left column, with One for All, Vorpal, Adrenaline and Rampage in the right column. Who can blame me for loving this pulse? Demo in the left column makes it great for any grenade build, and Dragonfly in the left column makes it fantastic for a casual ad clear. Honourable, Oversoul Edict. You could very easily make the argument Oversoul is the best arc pulse, and to be honest I'd be inclined to agree, but I just don't enjoy rapid fire pulses that much, especially not as much as aggressive frames like Insidious. Light Action, Eddy Current, Perpetual and Demo in the left column with Swash, Adrenaline, Sword Logic and Volt Shot in the right column. Honestly, I wouldn't go with Demo Volt Shot, since Demo will reload your pulse and won't activate Volt Shot, so you'd have to be super attentive to know when to actually reload and not throw your grenade. I think Demo works better with Sword Logic here, and then any other reload perk with Volt Shot would work here too. Best in slot, Void, Veles X. This pulse has got a fixed roll on it, but you can choose between the 4 perks on it, and those perks are a pretty good Void option, and a pretty good General option. Repulsor Brace in the left column means that if you can get volatile rounds in this pulse, using your fragments and then get a kill, you'll have a full Void overshield, which is great on any Void build as long as you have some mean of granting a Void debuff to an enemy. Then, Tricorn is a similar case with dealing damage, where a kill with this weapon will grant 15% more damage, then a Void ability kill will then grant a bonus of 50% damage, and with how many Void builds are all about grenade kills or volatile, it makes this pulse really easy to recommend. Honourable, Yesteryear. This is like the younger brother to Veles X, where it's an adaptive frame, so it doesn't hit as hard, but it does have more range in what it can roll. Ambitious, Subsistence, Outlaw and Perpetual all in the left column, with Tricorn, Repulsor Brace, Desperado, Rampage and Focus Fury in the right column. For endgame, it actually has a better roll with Perpetual Focus Fury, but since Repulsor is in the right column, it's a little weaker for Void builds. Best in slot, Strand, Different Times. As the first rapid fire pulse that I can comfortably recommend over the other options, Different Times is actually a great Strand primary. Subsistence, Stats for All and Outlaw with Adrenaline, Focused, Collective Action, Tricorn and Hatchling. For endgame, I don't think I could recommend this option, but for casual, it's definitely a fun option. Hell, Hatchling can actually activate both Subsistence and Stats for All, making it a great synergy for a lot of roles in this pulse. Honourable, Nightshade. Another great Strand option, it's just that Nightshade isn't craftable and doesn't have that many great roles. Outlaw or Enlightened Action with Kill Clip, Collective Action or Hatchling. Fun roles, but don't get me wrong, but I just don't think this lightweight can stand up to how versatile Different Times is. We've just gone over 13 great pulse rifles in the game, even though there's 60 total. So as mentioned before, if you have any personal favourites, feel free to mention them below so hopefully you too can inspire other players to use one of your faves.